is the home of Karen Blixen. See, this is her house. She was living here from 1917 to 1931.
Wow, okay.
The house is 112 years old.
Wow, okay. And it's still very, very strong.
Very strong. So she was born on 17th April on the year 1885 in Woensland, north of Copenhagen, Denmark. She was the second daughter of Wilhelm and Igmund Tennyson, and at her young ages she was being homeschooled by her grandmother and her aunt until 18 years. And after that she joined the Royal Copenhagen Academy and studied fine arts literature. On 1913, at the age of 28, she accepted the marriage of a half-Swedish cousin known as Karen Blixen. She accepted the marriage proposal from her cousin because she wanted to get the title baroness. So after that, now they were advised by their uncle to come to Africa and make a future here because there were rumors of the First World War. That was the main reason as to why they came to Africa. Baron arrived first the same year 1930. Their family's house in Denmark. It is also a museum. It was also made a museum of the year 1981. Really? Just like this. Yeah.
Part of the movie was also shot
yeah, on the grounds. Yeah. But they did not shoot inside. The house was too small inside. So they used another place. Okay. Now they have a total of 6,000 acres where they used 600 to plant coffee. 1,000 was given to the local people who would be working on the coffee plantation to settle in, and 2,000 was left for grassland to graze their animals. 2,400 was left for forests, just natural forest. So after dividing, they planted the coffee. The coffee grew, but the yields were too low, so they could never make any profits out of it. That is what that made Baron to lose interest in coffee growing. So he started to go out on hunting safaris where it would take a long time without coming back here to the farm. In that period that Karen was around here, she used to manage the farm and she could also do some work like the local people here. Like she had a school where she used to teach local children basic mathematics. She could also act as a judge where she was helping out to solve disputes. And she also used to nurse the sick people. She had learned first aid skills in school. That is what she was using to treat the sick people here. The same period, she also used to visit Bodaiga Country Club. That is where she met now the other guy, Dennis Finchhardt, the lover, who was introduced to her by her best friend known as Bakupol. And Bakupol was managing the club by that time. And after they met, they became close friends, and later they became lovers. And on 1920, they filed a divorce because their marriage with Baron was not working out. So that divorce took 5 years to process, and it was finalized on the year 1925. And the same year, Dennis Finchhardt moved in with Karen in this house. And on 1923, a coffee factory burnt down from a fire that spread from the Maasai Reserve. The Maasai were neighbors to the farm. So they were burning dry grass, so that new and more nutritious grass would grow to feed the animals and it rained. That is when the fire spread by accident and it burnt down Karen's coffee factory. So she got a lot of losses from the fire. Her family that was funding her from Denmark stopped funding her, and later they wrote her a letter and told her to sell the farm and go back to Denmark. But she never left immediately. She stayed here until 1931. That is when the Karen Coffee Limited went completely bankrupt. Now she was forced to sell and leave. But before she left, the lover Dennis Finchhardt was a licensed pilot, and he also owned a plane. And one day when he was flying over Savo National in Boeing, that is where he crashed with the plane, and he was buried at the first day of Gonkins. So after the burial, now Karen left, and when she was in Denmark, she was able to focus more on her literature work, and she published her first book on 1934. It was known as The Seven Gothic Tales. Then she published The Out of Africa on 1937, and from there she continued writing until her death on 1962 at the age of 77. Shortly after her death, her family published her last book, known as The Barbet's Feast, in 1963. Gong is a Maasai word that means knuckles. Like the knuckles of the hand. Yes. So the ranges look like knuckles. Look like knuckles. Okay, interesting.
So for me, the story of Karen Blixen seems like a bittersweet story because there's so many things that she went through, but she still made the best out of everything that was going on around her. And you can see that when you go to this beautiful place.
Somewhere around the farm. She used her dog there. It's a Scottish Deerhound. The dog's name was Dusk, and it was a wedding gift to her from Baron.
Oh,
yeah. This is a painting that she did. She was also a very good painter.
Oh,
this,
she did this?
Yeah, it is a Somali boy known as Abdullahi Ahmed who used to help her to do farm accounts. In his free time, he also used to challenge Dennis Finchato in chess matches, where he could mostly match the winner. And because of that, her parents, Karen sponsored him to go to Mombasa to study law. After his studies, he became a lawyer in Kenya, and when he went back to Somaliland, he became one of the first judges.
Wow.
We have another painting that she did. This is a Kikuyu lady known as Njeri. She did the painting because of her beauty. So she was considered to be the most beautiful girl in the farm, and because of that, her parents took that advantage, and they demanded a very high price of 250 goats and a pot full of honey. This tree is a wild date palm tree. She planted it on the year 1917, and it is an exotic tree. She got the seed from a botanical garden in Durban, South Africa, and after planting it, it sprouted into 8 stems. It is 106 years, and it has a lifespan of 115 years.
So after 115 years, what will happen?
Dry up.
It will dry up by itself.
Yeah, just like that.
So we were not allowed to shoot in the house, which is okay. I totally understood why. But one thing I'm going to say about walking into that house is that it gave me a feeling of being back in the days when Karen was here. And there were things that she used to use that are still there. Her bed is still there. So it gives you the feeling of how she used to live and how she just used to be as a person. Karen loved flowers, she loved trees, she loved nature. If you go in the house, you can see that they're like, you know, she liked her flowers arranged in a certain way. She was an entertainer. She even had the royal family having dinner at her house at some point. So in the same homestead, there is this little trail that goes to the coffee machine where the coffee was prepared.
That is the closest family of the elephant. Yeah, it has sharp and elongated incisors that represent the tusk of an elephant, and their toes look like the hoofs of an elephant, and they also feed on leaves. So that is the relationship.
So that was my experience of this beautiful place, the Karen Blixen Museum. It's a beautiful, beautiful place, a place that you can go and learn some history about the Karen area. There's a coffee shop in the same place. There's a restaurant that is, I think 700 meters down from the house. And guys, please go and visit this place any day of the week. Just go.